So, do any of you in this chat, do you have osteoporosis or osteopenia?
I do.
Um, so first of all, here's a PSA. When I went in to ask my doctor about it, she said, "You're too young to be tested. We don't test till 65." And I was like, "Really?" Because I've been
Really?
hearing. And she said, "Oh, okay, fine." And she sent me off to be tested. And lo and behold, I had full on osteoporosis.
And
So
she
like,
went, oh,
oh, oops. So I've been doing all the things. I've been working out with really heavy weights and I upped my calcium and all that. But at some point, it was just all those sort of non-medication interventions weren't working.
right.
So they decided to do this injection called Evenity. So for 6 months, I took this thing every month called Evenity. Great. But then after you're done with the Evenity, the protocol is you take a yearly injection of something called Reclast. And I was hesitant because my mom had a bad reaction to it, but they convinced me. And the doctor was like, "Well, you might have some flu symptoms for the first." I actually really like my doctor, so I don't want to tease him like that. But he was like, "Yeah, you might have some." Oh my fucking God. I could not get out of bed yesterday. I still feel like ass. Um, I'm a little freaked out because he was like, "Oh, it's usually a day or two, but it could last a week." And as you know, my son is getting married on Friday. I do not have a week to feel this shitty. And the weirdest thing is like, I can't seem to bring myself to eat or drink. Like I know I need to eat. I
Yeah.
know I need to drink, but I can't. Anyway, so that's why I look like a listless, consumptive. Anyway,
You
that's
have
my
good color
PSA
for
to all
being
of you.
consumption. For being consumptive, you do have good color.
Oh
I guess,
yeah.
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 But I do think you do deserve your own
But no,
shade.
apparently you get really beautiful when you have TB, when you have consumption. So I guess I haven't gotten it yet. I'll let you know if my
You
appearance
you
starts to
glow.
change.
You absolutely glow.
So, should I explain why we're doing brownies?
I think you should explain why we are doing brownies. And then I'm going to
Okay.
talk about brownies. And then we're going to talk about love. And then I'm going to talk about how much I love brownies. And you're going to talk about like real love.
Okay. So, here's why we're making brownies. So, my son Zeke, age 29, is getting married.
Woohoo!
Wait, I have to turn on D&D. So my other annoying children can't
Mm,
bother me. Um, so my son Zeke is getting married. He's 29. Nadia, his fiance, is 25. They're getting married on Friday. And we were trying to think like we weren't going to bake a wedding cake, right? That would be insane. But Zeke has always loved brownies. And this is actually, I debated whether I would tell you guys this, but I feel like people can sympathize with this. I had one of my best friends in the world through really no fault on my own, and I have had this adjudicated with other people, who
now we'll judge. Go on.
yes, well, I can tell you everything, but she cut me off. Um,
Oh.
Something happened, nothing to do with me, but she didn't wanna be my friend anymore. She actually Lucy in the footballed me because at some point she reached out again, and it was really nice, and I was like, "Let's take a walk," and she was like, "Oh, no, never mind, I don't wanna be your friend." So I was like, "Dude, how many times are you gonna do?" I mean, have any of you guys ever had, like, a friendship just ends like that? It's very painful. And this friend used to make Zeke brownies all the time for his birthdays, favorite treat. And I don't like chocolate, so I am not a brownie maker. So it was always really fun for him when she would come over on his birthday or just like randomly with a pan of brownies for him. So I was feeling really, I was like, we're just never gonna get another pair of brownies. Blah, 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 blah. So Marissa was like, oh, stop whining and let's make brownies.
Yeah.
So that's why we're making brownies. Over to you, lady.
So a mother's love, really. You're overcoming your dislike of brownies, which I think a lot of parenthood is about.
Yes.
Overcoming some dislike of something because your kids like it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Katie, have I been good at that? My daughter's over there. Have I been okay about that? She's smiling knowingly. Do you want some cash too? Yeah, she wants cash too. Yeah, whatever. So we're making brownies. It's actually a rejiggering of a recipe that I actually made for my daughter, which was a really fudgy brownie that had freeze-dried raspberries in it and was made with hazelnut flour because that gives it a sort of, I don't know, vaguely Nutella-y thing and full of nutrition.
I don't
Uh,
believe in mixing chocolate and fruit. I am morally, unless it's bananas.
right,
Bananas, I believe, are acceptable with chocolate. Keep your fucking chocolate covered strawberries and freeze dried raspberries out of my life.
right. So that was what she said to me in that way that if only a friend talks to you.
Yes,
And
in
so
my
I was like,
usual style of warmth and support. Oh, maybe that's why my friends stopped talking to me.
never mind. I'm sure it wasn't you. Anyway, so we're making fudgy brownies today, and there are a bunch of little, like, I think we say in French truc, but we say in English tricks, and about how to make and keep them fudgy. I'm a little distracted because my cat is playing in his water bowl, just patting at the water and making water go everywhere. It's really quite cute. Okay, so what are the tricks? One is we're using melted butter, which makes it all easier to do. The other thing is we're doing it by hand. The other thing we're doing,
So that's what I was going to ask you. No mixer?
you can use a mixer, but one of the great things is it's a recipe that we can do while we're talking to
Okay,
the
so
people
no
of Earth.
mixer.
No mixer.
So I should melt my butter right
You
now.
melt your butter, and we're going to add to that butter. Um,
I don't know how, like, if we're on Zoom, you can't hear me crashing around. I don't know why they don't do that on Substack. It, like,
yeah, some
gives
sex
me
sort
out
of
this.
got to get with it. We're going to add brown sugar, and we're going to add white sugar, but more brown sugar than white sugar. Can we all guess why out there in TV land? Yes, you can, because brown sugar has more moisture. So it's going to hold on to that fudginess. What else are we going to do to make it fudgy? We're adding 3 tablespoons of oil. And like in at my great age, I have realized that the best way to make cakes and brownies is to do a mix most of the time, some of the time, of butter and oil. Butter gives you all the yummy flavor and fat that you like. Oil gives fat, but also holds on and holds moisture for longer. So that's why we're adding oil to it. Are you all with me? I'm going to add it to the melted butter.
Oh my God, you're so far ahead of me.
Well, this is sort of what I do for a living. Like if I said, "Do you have a plot treatment for whatever?" You'd probably be like, "Yes." Are you head up in like wedding details, like wedding stuff?
Well, yes. Sort of, you know how at the end of the sort of last minute, has anybody ever had a wedding for their kids? Um,
No.
it's
Please tell
there's
us what it was
always
like
last
in the
minute
comments.
drama. And so we're in the last minute drama part of the planning. I planned my older daughter's wedding myself. She went up into her room after they announced they were getting engaged, and she came down about 20 minutes later, and she said, "This is stupid. I do not want to do this. This is just incredibly annoying. You plan this thing."
Right,
And I was like, "Okay." I mean, and I've, like, worked in television. Putting on a wedding is just not that hard. So in
right,
5 days, I had the whole thing planned soup to nuts. But my daughter-in-law is much more interested in planning her own wedding. So I have not really been involved much in the process except to write checks. And
Whew,
now we are all hands on deck.
wow. And is it
Can
what kind
everybody
of
please ignore that I'm putting a plastic bowl in the microwave? Just shush.
should
Just
she none of us can see, it's okay. And obviously, all you folks out there in, Substack Live Land, if you have questions, thoughts, commentary, we're here for it. We can take it, and we want it. So please lean in, and, I'm sorry you can't actually talk to us. That's a failing of Substack Lives, not ours. We'd have you chat with us. And maybe someday we'll do some other thing that isn't Substack Live. Right now I'm cracking some eggs with sunny yolks. Um,
what size bowl are you doing, Marissa, using so I can see?
I'm doing a bowl that looks like this.
Oh,
And why do I use a larger bowl? Because whisking needs more space so that it doesn't end up all over the
right.
counter.
Let me get a big bowl.
Maybe that plastic one wasn't a great idea. No, I'm just saying, I don't want to judge. She's under a lot of pressure. Um,
Is this bowl okay?
let's see. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's a Heath bowl. There's a Heath outlet in Sausalito near where I live. If anybody, it's like literally worth coming to the Bay Area for.
Oh my gosh. Marissa gets on plane, comes immediately. Um, that's what a great thing to be able to do. I am sitting here separating an egg that does not want to be separated from its yolk. Curious. And then I'm going to wash my hands because it's covered in yolk. Anyway, my friends, the other secret of this is that you add 2 eggs. Obviously, that adds lots and lots of moisture, but you also add an extra egg yolk. If you look at any of my cookie recipes, you'll also see that the extra egg yolk adds a lot of moisture, adds chewiness. And now I'm going to start whisking. And when that gets annoying for you guys out there, let me know and I will stop whisking and do something else. Because I don't have to make it all, but it is a great arm workout. Anyway, I like whisking by hand. You can really see the change in things. And if you don't want to whisk by hand, I'm not going to stop you using a mixer. That's all. We're really going for something, though. You're going to see the entire batter lighten up when it gets a little more air into it. And you're going to want it to create what we call ribbons. And I'll show you when I get to the ribbon stage.
You're going to have to let me catch up so I can make sure I'm doing ribbons.
Absolutely. This way I can be ahead of you because I'm better. Oh, Ayelet, off topic. I read Bad Mother and I really loved it. It is funny, so insightful, and moving in many ways.
Thank you. I wrote that a long time ago when my kids were small. And
yeah.
It was funny. I had written this essay. Oh, am I out of sugar? No. I had written this essay in the New York Times about, it wasn't supposed to be in the New York Times. I wrote it for an anthology about loving my husband more than my children. And I was pilloried for it. And then eventually I wrote this book called Bad Mother, which is sort of a collection of essays about motherhood. And my friend Daniel Handler, when I was looking for a subtitle, he said, you should subtitle this book, Remember When Ayelet Waldman Went on Oprah and She Had No Book to Plug? Here's the book.
What were you doing on Oprah and what was it like?
It was kind of insane. So this essay comes out. I mean, this was even before like virality, really. It was a long time ago. And but
I will say it is how I first learned who you were.
Yeah, I mean, it is the version of virality that was appropriate at the time. I mean, it went crazy viral. And my husband at one point was lying on the bed with me and he says, "Ugh, well, I guess I should just be grateful you didn't go on Oprah to talk about our sex life." And then I swear it was like 5 seconds later. I mean, whatever, in my memory, it's 5 seconds later. The phone rings and they're like, "Hey, Ella, this is Oprah Winfrey's team." And they said to me, basically, Oprah agrees with you. She loves you. She wants to have you on her show because she has diagnosed this low-grade depression in her audience. And she feels like you've sort of hit on why. So I thought, oh, I'm going to go on Oprah and defend myself. It's going to be great. And then when I get there, there's like, I'm sitting there getting makeup. By the way, can I just say the lighting that Oprah has is the best lighting in the history of lighting.
Better than my own kitchen out here in New Jersey?
She said,
yeah. Pinching your cheeks?
Crazily enough.
Oddly enough.
Crazily enough.
But did they give you like the star treatment? Did you get to go in a limo and they flew you out?
Yes, they flew me out, though not business class. I went and I had all my makeup done. And then I'm sitting in the makeup chair and I'm hearing this shrieking. And I look at the producer and it's like through the vents in the room. And I'm like, what is that? And she says, well, so we've made a little change in our format.
No.
We've assembled a group of moms and they hate you. But you're used to hostile juries. You were a public defender. You'll be fine. So,
what was your gut reaction at that point?
I wanted to die. It was so terrifying. And then when they brought me out on stage, one of the women literally jumped over a chair screaming, "Let me at her."
What?
I'm not kidding. So there was this rows of chairs on the stage and these women they wanted to, I mean, it was insane how angry they were at me. Like,
had they like tied like a stake to your neck so that they like starved the women?
I mean, it's interesting. Some of them had allowed Oprah's team. Okay, wait. So I have got my sugars and my oil and now I mix.
Yeah.
Okay. So
whisk it together.
So I'm whisking.
You're just there to whisk it until it's mixed, and then you add the eggs, and that's when it starts to look like something. It doesn't look as greasy.
Is it okay if it's a little lumpy at this stage?
Yeah, or smash the lumps like this with your whisk.
That's what it's supposed to look like? No, that's after the eggs.
That's after the eggs where it's all smooth and creamy. Yours probably looks a little greasy and gross.
Yeah. Okay, so I sit down, I'm fucking terrified. It's funny because my husband, I was used to hostile juries. I was a criminal defense attorney. So I was holding it together. My husband says he's the only person who realized how upset I was because he
Oh.
could see my chin trembling. Yeah. So Oprah, and then I'm looking at these women. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't sign up for Jerry Springer. So I start to take off my mic, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. This isn't something I'm interested in.
Good
And
for
I get
you.
up,
Yeah.
and then these double doors open in the back of the soundstage, and in a halo of golden light, Oprah Winfrey comes out. She she's like an angel. Her head bigger than a normal human head.
I've met her once when I was working at Oxygen, which was the television network she started, and she came in once and graced us with her presence. And she is basically like a giant, like in the Wizard of Oz, where he's like a giant head.
Yeah,
She is just a giant head.
a giant
It's
head.
so striking.
It was so do I mix between eggs or just get them all in there?
Get them all in. You might as well.
So, she comes in, she sits down next to me, and she leans over and takes my hand. And first of all, just so you know, she smells better than normal humans. People don't smell this good. Um, and she whispers in my ear, "The Amazing Adventures of Cannibal and Clay" was one of the best books I've read in my entire life. So what am I thinking at that moment?
You're thinking,
Oprah Book Club. And these were the days where Oprah Book Club was $1,000,000. Like, you sold 1,000,000 books. So I was like, "You sit in your fucking chair, girl, and you don't go anywhere."
if you love your husband that much, because for like the two people out there who don't know, that's the book her husband wrote. That is one of the
I
books.
was like, "I want that money." Sorry, I was just getting my egg yolk. So, hold on, let me wash my yolks off my hand. So, at that point, I'm not going anywhere, right? At that point, I'm just sitting there. And it was really amazing. A lot of these women had allowed her to send teams into their house,
What?
like, to film them and their children. They asked me to do that, and I was like, "No, you are not coming into my home to film my children. We don't That's not something I do." But these women had allowed you get set up. You're not in control of that narrative. So
No.
the kid so the
And you'll also do anything for Oprah at this point.
yes, so there was
Not
like
you, but they.
they so there was this one woman. She had like all of her kids played different string instruments, and they had a gymnastics room in the basement, and she's just running around, like, focused on the children. And they film these moments where her husband's trying to get her attention, she's just ignoring him. I mean, like, it's a setup, right?
Right.
So and then what's really interesting is, so she's like the good mother. She reached out to me after, and she said, "Please help me. I'm getting a divorce. I'm so miserable. What can I do to make my life better?" And I said, "First things first, get rid of the harpsichord." Um,
They had an actual harpsichord?
yeah. So anyway, it was like so ironic, right? Okay, so now I've got my thing all mixed up. Now what's my next stage? Flour?
No,
What?
because you need to keep beating it, I'm afraid, because it needs to hit the ribbon stage where,
What's the ribbon stage?
well, take a little look down here, okay? So I've
It's
been
so
beating
light colored. Why is yours so light colored?
because I've been beating it and to get air into it. So, when you get the ribbon stage, I can um run some of the batter across the top like this. It's
Yeah.
not quite there, but it will hold. It's like you can see where I have laid down more batter. See?
I
It
protest.
You do.
Why
You
aren't
will
I u
protest.
if I feel like I should be using a mixer at this point,
You could if you wanted to use a mixer. I mean,
but I don't
you
want to
are in,
because I've already gotten a bowl dirty.
yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, so I'm on the Oprah stage. All the women are talking about how much they hate me. And then it's like, but the thing is, they weren't lying to me. Oprah did agree with me. So it was so interesting to watch, like like a cruise ship. You know how it turns really slowly?
Yeah.
By the end of the show, they were all like, "We love Ayelet. We just didn't like how she said it. We all agree with her." So it was just this incredible, crazy
Well,
experience. But the Oprah team was deeply invested in pretending that I was just a mom. Like that's what happens with moms. They have, they get their work in the New York Times, right? Just like
yeah.
that's
A lot
how
of
that's how being a plain old mom works.
yep.
Do you have a thought? And it gets in the New York Times. So like if you clicked on the link at the show, it took you to I'm on Substack Live Pen. It took you to someone else's book.
What?
Yeah. Took you to someone else's book. Isn't that fucking nuts?
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. So,
And it wasn't your husband's book.
no, it was just some random woman who wrote a book about motherhood. Anyway, it was so annoying. So that's why when Daniel Handler was like, this is well, this is the book you should have been selling at that moment. So that was bad mother.
That was bad mother. Oh my gosh. So
They have these little like hard things of
little bit of brown sugar.
yeah. I'm smushing them with my fingers.
Yeah, smoosh them with your fingers.
Maybe I should get headphones because Kenna, my darling Kenna, is back here making noise in my kitchen. Can you
It's
hear all that? It's not her fault. She has to have coffee.
She needs
Person
coffee.
needs their coffee. No, don't apologize, sweetheart.
I do think some people are going to wonder what's written on your arm.
Oh, so this every 10 years, my darling husband writes me a poem.
Every 10
He
years.
started on our 10th anniversary, then he did it on our 20th, and then recently on our 30th. And this year's poem was a villanelle. And this is the very last line of a villanelle. I should have had it done bigger so you could read it. But this is the last line of the villanelle. And it says, in our, oh God, in our long, sweet, tempestuous tale, we unfold. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
He's
In our
only ever
long,
had one poem published in the New Yorker, but he's a beautiful poet.
I think it's better to be published on your arm, to be fair.
Better on your wife's arm than in the New
Yeah.
Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh, can I stop now?
You
So
can
boring.
stop. One of the reasons that you do it is to build some air into these. The other reason is a lot of people get off on having a crackly top to their brownie,
Yeah.
but you don't care. So
Well, I
don't
could
sweat it.
do, but I feel like I could be here for the next 45 minutes crackling the top.
You do want
Can
some
we have
sort
a
of
poll, people? Do you think I have to keep going just to make these correctly? Or do you think I get to stop and just people?
please vote. Please
Please
vote.
vote. Should I stop or should I keep going and make these correctly?
I think because you're slightly infirm and you are the mother of the groom, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do because busy enough week. I've added vanilla to mine because I add vanilla to
Oh,
everything.
I like vanilla too. I always add vanilla. Hold on. I like this vanilla.
I like expensive vanilla. You're in charge.
Little jar of vanilla.
Oh, that's nice.
It's vanilla paste.
Oh, I like that. They also sell it at Trader Joe's if you don't think you can afford it.
What how much should I put in?
I like a teaspoon, a generous teaspoon. Diane Harper's like, use the mixer.
Thank you, Diane Harper. I should have listened to you from the get-go.
Janet wants
But
you
I don't want to get my mixer out because now, it's sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
I've now been
We're now about to turn this from being a blondie to a brownie.
Okay.
And I've already measured out my cocoa, and do you say cocoa funny now that you live in California?
cocoa. We don't
cocoa.
say it. We don't say cacao.
Cacao. Or
Can
like-
I ask you to talk about the difference between Dutch process and not Dutch process?
Yes, one is one you use to when you if you use Dutch processed, you have to use something that because it's had the acid removed, you need to add something to it that's going to help to make it rise. In a brownie, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm sure like fancy chefs would say it does matter. I don't think it matters. I think the trick here is to use the nicest quality cocoa you can find. Right now I'm using
how much do I put in? How much Dutch process?
Well,
In grams.
84 grams.
84 grams. I have to say, I know it's precious, but weighing has totally transformed my baking.
And okay, so that I don't have to be the person who goes on about it. First, I don't think it's precious, but yeah, you go tell them why. Why has it changed your baking?
It's just because the getting your cup measurements are rarely really accurate. So if you weigh, you can get down to like the half gram, and and baking is chemistry, as we all know, as
Yes.
Marissa has told us. Baking is chemistry, and we want to get it right.
Yep.
84 grams. So I have this little handy dandy scale. It works great. 84 grams. 84. Mhm. Well,
You're gonna see that I'm now just using my spatula. I almost called it a scalpel. I don't know. Nouns are weird. Um, to just fold it in just a
the
little bit,
cocoa.
the cocoa, and then I'm
So
gonna
I
add
shouldn't be using my whisk now. Whisk is done.
whisk done, and then I'm gonna add coffee to mine.
Oh, I'll copy too.
The idea is that you're adding hot liquid to it. You're adding hot water or you're adding hot
Oh, I
coffee
better heat up my coffee because I was going to use coffee behaviors in the fridge.
to
I mean,
help
in the coffee bottle. Get some. How much coffee?
2 tablespoons. And it's
Cold
gonna
coffee, okay.
no, you should be hot because you want
Heat it in my
to bring the heat. The heat's gonna help the cacao bloom and bring out its flavor. Does anybody out there like brownies?
Anybody out there? What?
Does anybody out there not like brownies other than you?
I cannot stand. I'm just not a fan of chocolate, really. I mean, I like milk chocolate,
Yeah.
ideally like Swiss. That's really namby pamby. But I'm super sensitive to bitter. I don't. Ugh. If I'm getting cocoa everywhere, should I put some more in? Because it's all falling all over the place.
Did it go poof? I have it on my arm, so Um, does I'm not it's not that I don't wash, it's that I have cocoa that went poof on my arm. So, one of the reasons that this is your recipe is I'm adding milk chocolate to it, which, is not something I normally do. One of the things about milk chocolate, look at these handfuls of milk chocolate. Oopsie, dropped on the floor. Wash it off. Um, one of the reasons, one of the things that's happened lately is that milk chocolate is really hard. Good quality milk chocolate is really hard to find. You can get a big milk chocolate bar at Trader Joe's. That's good. But the old standards like Lindt all have natural and some artificial flavorings in them to boost the flavor of the milk chocolate, as opposed to the chocolate I'm using right now, which is made by a company called Tony's Chocolonely, which is also
That's what
like
I got too.
wholesome and good because they pay their farmers directly and stuff like that.
Okay, so I've got my cocoa mixed in now. I had my coffee, my hot coffee. How much? 2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons and just gently fold it. And you do not want to overbeat this. You don't want to develop any gluten. You just want this like fudgy
Oh,
mass.
wait, when do I add my flour?
Oh, you didn't add the flour?
Uh-uh.
Oh.
I should have added my flour before my
The coffee?
cocoa.
No, together or one after the other. Doesn't matter.
Whisk or cocoa flour and salt. Okay.
Yeah, so just fold in the flour and the salt. Salt's sort of key, especially if you're using milk chocolate chips, and also it brings out the flavor, right?
80 grams of flour.
And the really nice thing about Toganese, if this is an unpaid promotion, God, I wish they'd pay me because everything costs so much. But anyway, it's an unpaid promotion because it's just milk and sugar, some soy lecithin to help it hold its shape, and cocoa. So that makes it really good. Or maybe chocolate solids or something like that. I could look at the here. Shall we look at this? Let's look. Cocoa, sugar. I ripped all. How much salt? Half a teaspoon.
I'm just gonna grab.
Milk, sugar. Yep, it's good. Cocoa butter for fat. Mm. Look at the chunks in here. 'Cause I'm using really big old chunks. So it's when you slice into these, you're going to see big old melty chunks. That's my daughter. I was making sounds at.
Okay, flour getting everywhere. Oh my God, I'm laying waste to this kitchen. Wonder if I can somehow convince my husband to clean up after me.
Can you trade him cleaning duties for a brownie? He likes chocolate,
You
right?
know, it was so funny. The other day we were figuring out something. We have this because we work in Hollywood. We have something called a loan out company, which is how they get paid in Hollywood through this corporation. Ours is called Escapist Fair.
Uh-huh.
And I needed him to do something, and I said, "Technically, you're my employee." Just because he doesn't have a head for business, so I'm the sort of boss of Escapist Fair. And he texts back and he says, in quotes, "technically." So I bet I could get him to clean up this kitchen. Okay,
See,
flour in.
that's its own love
Coffee
affair right
creamer.
there. Someone who'll clean up the
Is
kitchen.
anybody else making this while we do this? Am I the only one making it?
I think you're my employee right now, baby.
So it's 2 tablespoons of coffee.
2 tablespoons of coffee. Stir it in. What else are people doing as they're doing this? Are they tending the weeds in their garden? Are they sitting poolside, sipping their early morning mimosa? Are they cleaning the bathroom? Very interesting to know what you're all doing out there. And if you have any questions, so um,
Okay, now I'm mixing in my coffee. Then what?
I want to know what the details are of the wedding that you can tell us. Like, is there going to be are there going to be clowns? Are you going to release like wild monkeys into the audience? Like, what's
It's
going
a
to happen?
very simple wedding.
Hmm.
Um, my son obviously is Jewish. My daughter-in-law is not. Her dad is Muslim, and her mom is kind of nothing. You know, American mutt. Um, but we are having some Jewish things, like they'll break the glass. I'll have some Jewish music. I'll have some Mauritanian music, and um, I'm going to show you guys the chuppah that I made. I made it for my daughter's wedding, and we're adding their names to it. That's going to be once I get this in the oven. I'm going to show you the chuppah. It's like it's like a wedding. It's good. It'll have dancing and it'll have tears, and we love our daughter-in-law so much. Okay, so now I just dump in the chocolate.
Just dump in the chocolate. It's kind of the best part. Mine are ready to go. They're spread in a pan. One of the things.
Can you talk about how you do that, by the way?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about buttering the pan. Butter it, and then cut yourself a piece of parchment paper that goes across one side. I don't do it both sides because it's wasteful. And I do that because then when it comes out of the oven, I'm just going to run a knife down the sides and then lift it out of the pan once it's cool. Don't lift it out before it's cool or it will break. But
Maybe I
once
should have
it's cool,
gotten my pan out earlier because now I'm going to have to make this hellish sound. Dig through this pan drawer. Everybody, just for your ears.
okay, everyone.
Bang.
Everybody, little.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. What the hell?
I'm sorry. It's like an old time radio show.
Where's my fucking brownie pan?
You can use a circular pan too if you want.
Oh my God. Where's my brownie pan?
Do you have a cake pan by any chance?
Okay. Do we have a crisis?
To the people who just joined us,
Question for you. Here's a question.
Mm.
Can I use this?
Of course. That's
So
perfect.
butter it.
Butter it.
But what about the whole thing of the...
Don't worry. They'll
Okay.
sweat it.
Okay.
I don't think Ayelet needs the extra, you know? You can just turn it out upside down. You can upside down it and right side up it. And then
people, friends, I'm so tired. Everybody
just
feels sorry for me.
well, one of the people watching is laying in bed recovering from surgery.
Are you?
So
What
she-
did you have? I mean, if it's not too nosy.
Please, do you have any photographs you can?
Do you have anything you could share? Any like incredibly intimate personal detail?
We're here for it. We're the ones. I'm gonna put it in the oven.
Butter, and then I think I have an idea for the I think I have an idea for the parchment paper. I'm going to show you in a second.
Okay.
And I wish I could say I didn't see this on Instagram, but I 100% saw it on Instagram.
Ooh, cervical spine fusions. Okay.
Ooh, ouch. You doing okay,
Um,
honey? You in pain?
We're wishing you the best.
We sure are. That's
Um,
brutal.
I'm having a hard time getting my head around the fact that it's August 1st. I think it's the back to school thing that kind of gets me when I go
But
to the
are
grocery.
your kids are in college, or do you have anybody in high school?
No high school kids, but I teach too. So I mean, I teach college. So once
You do? What do you teach? Journalism?
I teach journalism,
Where do you teach journalism?
I teach journalism at Montclair State University, the alma mater of people like Bruce Willis.
Amazing. And do you
Um,
love it? Do you like teaching? How does
I
it feel
love
to
it.
teach?
I love it. It was one of those things I just sort of, someone was like, "You want to do that?" Because they have lots of adjunct professors, because that way they don't really have to pay
Yeah.
people who've spent their entire lives building up experience a lot for their time. If I told any of you, if I made any of you guess how much an adjunct professor earns at a state university that has one of the best communications media schools around, I have to say, even though it's a public school, a public university, but all the people who work in Montclair teach there, and we've all worked at all the media outlets in New York City, and so that's what we do. But you want to guess how much a person earns? Go on, try. For teaching 2 classes? Yeah. Yeah. Yours right. 2 classes, 1 semester, 13K comes in at 8,000 after taxes.
Jesus. Okay, so this is what I learned on Instagram. You like crinkle it up,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of shove it into an oddly shaped pan. What do you think?
If it's working for you, then it's working for me. That's what I have to say. Just make sure you smooth it out around the humpy bits of the
Around where the edges?
the humpy bits of the heart,
Oh
the lumpy bits.
yeah, the lumpy, humpy bits of the heart.
Thank you, Lynn. I do like teaching journalism. I think teaching it right now is a real challenge because there's so much. I mean, there's always been negativity against journalism, but a lot of these kids come from homes that think that it's all fake news. And I
So
love
why are they
seeing,
even studying it?
because they don't believe it's fake news. I mean, I think that's one of the hopeful things. And they also, if they're in the communications department, like in the College of Communications, they have to take intro to journalism. So I like to get my little, I might make everybody read the news for one thing. They have to follow the news, and we have like
What
quizzes on the news.
outlets do you require that they follow?
They get to pick their own, so that I don't get in trouble with the dean. And I make sure that people follow everything. And we start comparing headlines. So we'll compare how, let's say, Fox News covers something versus how the New York Times or the Los Angeles Times or the BBC even or Al Jazeera cover a story. And I suggested also to your guys out there as well, not to like sound, I don't mean to sound condescending or teacherly, but I do mean like, the next time you see some headline about something that's going on, say with the president, see how they're covering it on Fox. If you're not a Fox follower by any chance,
I love
see
you,
it.
Marissa.
Yeah.
There is no earth, the power of earth that can get me to turn on Fox News. I just don't have that much emotional bandwidth. Okay, so now I have my brownies in the pan. Now what?
Have you smoothed them out? Are they reaching all the corners of the pan?
Yes, they are all in all the corners. I'm washing my hands again because I'm about to take out something that I really don't want to get chocolatey. Hold on.
And then you can just shove it right there into the oven, which should be on at 350.
And how long am I going to cook it for?
That is the challenge of the brownie. In my recipe, I say 28 to 35 minutes. I don't know how your oven cooks. All I know is what I can tell you about what the toothpick should look like. There is a good chance, if you don't pay attention, that you could have a fudgy brownie go become a cakey brownie. But you also have to realize that a fudgy brownie is not a raw brownie. They are different. So the trick is to stick a toothpick in to the middle and pull it out. And if it's all covered in goop, I mean, I don't mean to teach you all how to suck eggs, but if it's covered in goop, it's not ready yet. If it has a few little moist crumbs on it, it's ready. If no crumbs come out, buy some ice cream because they're going to be a little dry.
You'll show people on mine and on yours.
Yes. That's so interesting, Lynn. Debbie Millman wrote a great piece on why people need to be 40 to use AI. That's a great idea. I mean, I'm going to even write it down. Yeah, AI is a problem in
I have
class.
to sit down. I'm feeling so sick, guys.
You have done so much.
Taking to my sofa.
Please lay back. Can I ask you questions while you're laying back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what color are you wearing for the wedding?
I am wearing a sort of pewter slip dress in a very heavy silk by Margaret O'Leary. It's a shop in Berkeley, and I think they have one in San Francisco. And over that, I have this kind of like, I don't know what this fabric is. It's almost like tulle, but not like tulle. It's not like it's organic. I don't know. A jackety kind of thing that I can take off. It's longer and it belts and I have a friend, Stephanie Verrier, who's a local Oakland designer, and she designed that. And then I'm a parent wearing a pair of Robert Clergerie shoes in a
Love them.
kind of variegated pewtery color. So it doesn't exactly match the dress, but it complements it. And I'm going to get my hair put up because it's going to be so hot and I want to dance. And if my hair is down, it'll just get all sweaty and lank. So we're going to have our hair put up, my daughter and me. And this is a great angle. I'm sorry. This is just what it's going to be, folks. Maybe I'll try to do this. Oh my God. Once I had a horrible cold and was coughing. Now you would think I've been like really bad health, but whew, I'm not. It's just this reclass. I almost feel like it's chemo almost. I mean, it really did lay me low.
It must be really attacking your bones, I guess.
I guess so. Mineralizing my bones.
Something to your bones.
Something.
Well,
all right.
Yeah.
What are we talking about now? You promised you would sing me Sunrise Sunset.
I did sort of promise that I might sing you Sunrise Sunset, but then I'll cry. And so I don't know if I'm going to do it.
I'm going to cry so hard at this wedding. I still have to write my toast. And I want my toast to be about something that, like I said, Nadia's dad is Muslim. Zeke's is a Jew. And we're Jewish. And I just want to write about how in this moment, it's such a hopeful thing to do for a girl from a Muslim background and a boy from a Jewish background to marry each other and transcend difference. So I think that's what I'm going to write about for my toast. And then I might also mention how when he was 2 and he'd come home from preschool, he would just crawl up on the couch and I swear to God, make out with me. He would just like put his hands on my face and be like, Mommy, I love you. Like for an hour. Like, Mom, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I mean, that was like the constant echo of ages 2 and 3. Mommy, yes, sweetheart. I love you. He was such a lovable little guy. Oh my God. And his older sister, was super busy and a little bit spiky, and didn't like to be hugged. She had just lots of shit to do. So I was craving a little physical, there's this way that affection from your children kind of replenishes you. And I was craving a little bit of that. And he was all in.
And how are you going to turn that so that it doesn't sound like a desperate Jewish mother whose son is no longer there to kiss her? Are you concerned about that, or
do you feel like that's a problem?
No.
Wait, do you guys feel like I shouldn't say that about him making out with me on the couch? Is it too? Wait, I actually do need a reality check. Is it too skeezy?
I don't. You guys say I don't. Maybe not make out. is the word, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Do
Uh,
whatever you want.
no, I don't. I want input.
But I
People.
mean, I love the idea of him being so lovey-dovey, and
Yes, he was so lovey-dovey. He would
now
say
he'll
all
be
he was just, "I love you, I love you, I love you." He's such a good I'm sure he says that to Nadia all the time.
exactly.
He's
That's
a very good partner. He's
aw.
and she's a very good partner too. It's so cute. Like, she'll put sunscreen on his face, which as a mother, I never remember to do. My children are all I mean, even my oldest one who's now quite pale, that when she was a baby, they're very brown,
Mm.
and, I would just always forget, and then every once in a while, I'd be like, "Ah, everybody has a sunburn."
That's really sweet. She cares. See?
Yeah,
It's kinda
take
sweet,
good care of
actually.
them.
Um, we were gonna also talk about, like, romantic books or books even that contain weddings in them to help distract us. I found for me, and y'all can join in and let me know, and I think I wrote about this a little bit in my Substack, but I found this surprise, a really hard week in the news, and,
Every week's a hard week, man, right?
that's the thing, but there was something about the Dr. Fauci bit that just
Yeah.
undid me. Seeing this man who's worked so hard all his life to care for other people, um, to be pi for to them try to pillory him in public, for Rand Paul to bring out his personal diaries, which include Dr. Fauci writing down how he would reach out to Stephen Miller's wife when she was sick with COVID and, um, offer her advice, and when she was pregnant, advice that he offered her, and so now that this has come out, um, what's her face? Stephen Miller's wife, whose name is
Katie.
Katie. Oh, God, maybe that's why I've repressed it because my daughter's name is Katie. Katie has denied it. And she's done it like 3 different levels of denial. "Oh, no, no, that's not true. Oh, well, maybe it's true, but I only was nice to him because, and now it's like, well, it's all bullshit. He wanted to try and help me. He wanted to get in with us sort of thing." And you're like, "What disgusting people." And it just really put me off. And I
I feel I had a Fauci Christmas tree ornament. I think this is what I think about Fauci. I think he did an incredible service to this country on over and over again on HIV, AIDS.
Mhm.
Um, I do feel like he made mistakes, but the whole PPE was a mistake. The closing the schools was a mistake. But the thing about it is we did not know. We didn't know. And I understand why he shut down the conversation about lab leaks. I happen to be a lab leak conspiracy theorist. Um, but I understand his motivation, but I do feel like at some point there should have been a decision that more information is better. And that when you don't know something, you have to say you don't know. And you have to say that we don't. So I'm not sure that would have prevented him from being pilloried, but I do think that would have been the more mature and sensible approach. I wouldn't want my emails, like about his celebrity stuff. I mean, this is a celebrity sycophantic culture. I mean, that's why Trump is president.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. I'm maybe a little disappointed that he seemed so interested in celebrities, but I also don't understand why. It's just to embarrass him and humiliate him.
But also,
Like,
it
who
was
isn't,
it was
If,
his
like, Julia
his
Roberts was sending me presents, I would have been in my diary, I would have been like, "That's so cool."
yeah. Also, it was his diary between him and the piece of paper. It
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't
like, you
ever
show
meant
your
to be.
worst side in your journal.
The only time I ever wrote a journal that was meant for other people to read was when I was, like, 10, and I thought I would think, "One day I'm gonna be famous, and people are gonna read my diary and whatever," and I tried to write it in this, like, tone of voice, which you read it now, and I think the word the kids would use would be cringe.
Cringe, and it
Um,
is cringe, but
it's
also that's what we do,
right.
we are cringe to ourselves, and, so I also found it depressing, and I mean, I have a hard time even believing that we went through that period. I don't know if I mentioned this last time. I had just started, one of those books that are like a 5-year line a day calendar.
Yeah.
So I started it on the January before COVID. Yeah.
And?
And it's a really amazing, like, book of memories because there's a line somewhere in March. And it's like, what is this coronavirus thing? Yeah. And then it takes us through that whole first year. And it's also, there are for personal reasons, last year was a very, very challenging year for my family. And so, like, again, I'm on year 2 of the next one, and I'm just like, "Oof, last year was rough." So it is I highly recommend keeping one of these because you never know what's gonna happen in the world, and it's actually kind of an interesting, artifact.
Do you write it just for yourself, or do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think people will
Yeah.
read it?
And, like, who wants to read, "Oh, had dinner with Sean and Desi." I'm not saying who Sean and Desi are, I'm just telling you I had dinner with.
Right, right, right.
Or
My
or
in-laws
are
kept
we at war with Iran now? We seem to be.
but there's so much of what we do every day now because it's all happening on the internet is ephemeral, you know?
Mhm.
Like, at one point, my husband did this wonderfully, I wouldn't say romantic thing, but caring thing, which was after my father died, he captured all of our emails together that my father and I
Aw,
had, and he printed them out.
that's so lovely.
And that was like 12 years ago, and I still haven't looked at it
Oh,
because
really?
I mean, that'd be just too much. It's because those are real conversations, but I hate the idea of those conversations. Like, those conversations were the way my father and I talked in real life as well as because
Mhm,
we spoke in, like, quips basically
mhm,
to each other, and that's kind of how our email went. And so I'm so glad that I have it,
mhm.
but I hate the idea of and as also the historian in me is like, "But when are people how are people gonna know, about the price of cheese, and how are they gonna know about, like, how Mrs. McGillicuddy felt about, whatever,
It's interesting. It
without
is like
people's
a very
diaries?"
those journals are so important, and I mean, Michael and I just sold our papers to the Beinecke Library a couple of years ago, our
Yay.
archive, and, the digital archive was as important as the paper archive. We had, like, 43 boxes of paper, but we also had countless bytes of,
Yeah.
data, and so they got all that. It was interesting trying to decide, like, what's gonna be embargoed and how long, and so
Oh, interesting.
mhm. I have a couple of friends who are very, very private, so I
Mm,
said, "You have to embargo this till after they die."
fair enough. Um, huh. Uh, we were gonna talk about romance and, like,
So do you
so
guys wanna see the chuppah I embroidered
oh,
for
yeah, yeah,
myself?
I do wanna see the chuppah. I think the reason I started talking about the horribleness of Dr. Fauci was to say, I felt this week that I needed a break, that
Mhm,
I, was overwhelmed by, um for me, having to be like, "I'm on social media. Look, this person is getting more attention than I'm getting, over here," and that becomes, it kind of begins to, you can really let it eat at you when you're trying
mhm,
to, like, "I have to have this many followers, and I need to have and so 12,000 people need to look at this or else I'm not as good as" and it's exhausting. It's
mhm.
truly just an exhausting way to live, and I wondered, like, to myself, like, how did would J.D. Salinger do in a world like this, right? Like,
I mean,
would
I think there's a certain prestige associated with mystique. I mean, there was for him even in his time, but, like, think about the writers who avoid social media. Zadie Smith doesn't do any social media, she has a flip phone, and, every once in a while, she publishes something in the New York Review books or the New Yorker,
yeah.
and I think that is such a great I wish I was like that. Unfortunately, I appear to be an attention whore, although leaving Twitter was huge for my state of mind. I'm still on Instagram. I've been doing a little more scrolling lately, so as of today, I'm putting myself on a no scrolling. I'm gonna take it off my phone. Um, uh, and I like Substack, but I'm a little concerned that Substack is turning into Twitter. The notes feature is
Mhm.
becoming more Twitter-like. Do you guys have that same concern? Like, I find myself having the urge to make quips and little rants and stuff, and I really do wanna avoid that.
I find myself on Threads a lot, kind of enjoy oh, we're getting some love there.
Oh,
Fi
fucking
fi
hate Threads.
Threads has some really interesting, fun holes. I don't know if that's the word, threads to go down, which I find sort of enjoyable distraction, but it's eaten my life. It's not healthy.
I
So,
can't stand it because of this, just the incredible sanctimony.
ugh,
I mean, I have like, you guys know I'm politically quite to the left, and there's some issues I'm very far to left on. But there's some issues I'm like, I'm a pretty heterodox person when
mm.
it comes to politics. So I find a lot of this knee jerk bullshit. Like, I don't want to be told by a bunch of white women to watch my white privilege. You know, get the fuck over yourselves, ladies. Um, and also, what have you done? What
Right.
have you done? Like, what activism have you done? And then maybe we can talk about what activism means. So and that I feel like Threads is a cesspool of that, like hyper performative political nonsense.
I find that in some of the threads that I'm on, but on Facebook, where and in places where that sort of holier than thou smugness shouldn't exist. Like, I don't know if any of you out there exist on any gardening websites. Gar- Gardening is really important to me. I look, here's what I picked from my garden today, right? Like, I got
Oh,
the
beautiful.
dahlias, I got the zinnias, I got some lovely scabiosa, which is my flower of the summer. Um, I love the stuff. Look at this one. It's got a really bright, you can't really tell. Anyway, it's bright and orange. Um, there are people out there who get on their very, very high horse about native plants and how you should only plant native plants. And if you don't plant native plants, then you are a very bad person. And it's like, well, I mean, it's a longer discussion for another day, but I don't need that in my life. I don't need somebody sneering at me. It's not high school. I got past that.
Yeah. I mean, and there is like, what's that phrase? The something of small difference. I'm gonna blame this on my foggy head. Somebody put it
Yeah.
in the
The
chat, the something of small differences.
or small minds.
Mm-mm. It's like when you harp on each other, you're like you think identically about 94%, and then I'm obsessed with that 6%. And I feel like there's these social media outlets are a place where that is so that's the norm. But and we have so much important work to do. Like, we are living I mean, this, oh, they're about to have an autocracy. No, we have an autocracy.
Right.
We have the worst, uh, criminal that there has ever been in the White House. It's
Mhm.
just, it's shocking. And I feel like to fight over whether someone, I don't know, has if sufficiently condemned the guy who misused a word in his novel is really not what we need, you know? And I think of it like, Sherman Alexie is a good friend of mine, and I love Sherman. I love his
Mm.
writing. He's brilliant. And Sherman will talk about these pretendians, people who've been outed as they're not actually Indians, but they've lived this very, Indian life. And
I've never heard that
often,
phrase, and I
yeah,
love it.
I know, often in the academy,
Mhm.
and almost always these pretendians are the ones trying to police expression and police identity. So I think it's really telling, you know. And I do feel like that's what we're seeing, but it's just not important. What is important now is getting rid of Trump. And if you and I can agree on that, then I am willing to give you a toddle on pretty much everything else.
Yep, I agree with you there. Absolutely. What I also am looking for, and this was kind of what I kind of moving away from so that I can restore my sense of self, because
Mm.
I feel like the past couple of months I've been eaten alive with feelings about social media and how it's overwhelming my life, and I don't know if other people feel that way. Um, but hey, reading has been really
Oh, yeah.
important for my sense of self. And one of the things we wanted to talk about were very good. Like, one of the today was sort of like romantic or wedding centric or whatever
Books.
books.
It's interesting. There's an amazing person on Substack who you guys should all follow immediately, named Naomi Alderman. She wrote The Power and a bunch of other books. Naomi is doing this Couch to 5K for reading for people who are trying to like get themselves to read. And it's like there's all these different levels. Like you don't read at all. So if she's starting, you want 5 minutes a day. You read, but you don't choose difficult things, and you want to choose difficult things. So it's this great program. It's like an
No,
8-week program.
so it's
So I
Naomi
highly recommend
Alderman.
going to Naomi Alderman's Couch to 5K reading program.
Is that her name there? Naomi Alderman?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, that's where I'm gonna go and train myself.
I'm
I
trying to read more difficult stuff. It's so interesting. I just read the Emma Klein book, the new one that was just nominated for the Booker Prize. And it's about a man who has dementia and is on his way to Switzerland to do assisted suicide. And it's in his mind, and it's so fascinating. Like, she manages to capture this incredible thing about being in his mind. And then as soon as I finished that one, I picked up the new Rachel Cusk, which is called M, which everyone's saying, "Oh, it's about Natalie Portman." And, but the thing about it is I felt like I was in the hands of the same character. Like, it felt like someone with dementia. It felt like someone so solipsistically focused on their own, like, and obsessed with this idea that were they real? I don't really understand. I'm, like, not someone who spends a lot of time wondering if I'm real, but
Yeah.
I'm real, like, for good or for ill. So I've never been a fan of Rachel Cusk, but it was so telling. Like, I had to stop reading because I kept feeling like I was back in the Emma Klein book, which I highly recommend you guys getting as soon as it's out here. It's such a good book.
Okay, I'm gonna write these. I'll put these in my Substack so people
And then
can.
I was thinking about
do it.
other books about marriage, obviously Pride and Prejudice, but I don't
Yeah.
need to tell you that anymore. But then also, uh, Tayari Jones has a book called An American Marriage, and it won the Women's Prize, and I'm sure a bunch of other prizes. And what I love about that book is it's not a cheerful, happy book, but it's a book about what marriage can and can't survive.
Mm.
I thought that was amazing. Those are my picks. And then last night I made this terrible decision, and I was in bed all day, and I watched the drama with Robert Pattinson and
Oh,
yeah. Oh my god, what a bleak fucking movie about marriage. Woof.
yeah. That's my husband and I will occasionally go. Let's watch that, and then we'll read about. Then we'll remind ourselves what it's about. We're like, I don't think so. I don't think that's a romantic night in somehow.
No. It's anti-romance.
I was trying to think of books that actually had weddings in them, and I came up sort of short from my own experience. But I remembered, and maybe I'll tell people about this while you're want to get the chuppah and show them the chuppah.
Mhm.
You don't have to get up though.
No,
If
I
you
have
don't,
to get up. I have to get up. I have to get
no,
up
you
to
don't
get the
have to get up.
Oh, I can't believe I'm such a fucking I mean, you guys are gonna think I'm so weak and pathetic,
Like you'll
but I
come back
swear
in
to God I'm
September,
not.
man,
I
and you're
swear
gonna
to
be like,
God, this is just a weird coincidence that twice in what I have had this. So, during COVID, I started, embroidering, which I had not done before, wasn't ever part of my life, and, I embroidered "fuck Trump" on a few different things, and then decided the next step would be to embroider a 70 by 70-inch chuppah for my daughter's wedding. I ended up having to get bailed out by my son-in-law's mom, grandma, and sister and aunt because I was, like, falling so far behind. But this, friends, is
oh my god,
can you see it?
oh my god, that's incredible. That's beautiful.
And it says Anila Dodiva Dodili, and it's all these embroidered flowers. And then Sophie and Mike have a patch with their names on it and the date of their wedding. And then I made Nadia and Zeke a patch. And my husband found these Mauritanian designs. So I embroidered the outside in this Mauritanian design. So yeah, so this is the chuppah, isn't it? Quite
It kind of it, I didn't want to sing Sunrise Sunset because that makes me cry, but that puts a really big lump in my throat. That is such an amazing thing.
And my goal is that everybody, as my kids, as my nephews, as everybody gets married one after the other, they will each use the chuppah and will add their names on a patch around the circle. And then I would love my dream is that at some point people won't remember who made it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the person who made it will be like, "Oh, I believe that was my great great grandmother," you know?
Right, right.
So that's my dream.
Um,
Like I tried to make what would be a family heirloom.
I think you have. It's beautiful. Anne has asked, "What's the name of the book that is about the limitations of marriage?" And I think it's the T.R.E. Jones book,
Yes, it's an American marriage.
An
And it's
American
about
Marriage.
this couple, young couple, very much in love, and he gets falsely accused and imprisoned. And it's the sort of the story of the book is how or if their marriage can sustain in all those years while he's in prison fighting for his uh, life and his innocence. It's a beautiful book. And then also, like, after he is finally vindicated and exonerated, then what? You know, it doesn't end there. Then there's a whole other part of it. So it's really beautiful. Terry is just, she's a wonderful writer. And I find that in these United States, so often African American writers get kind of lumped together and read primarily by African American readers. Now, the truth is, you could have a perfectly wonderful career only having Black women read your book, just like you could have a perfectly wonderful career only having Jewish women read your book. But these books are universal, and it's silly that only certain people read certain books. So I feel like the whites should be reading Tayari. So those of you who are among the whites, get thee to a bookstore. Her new book is called Kin.
Ooh, Ken.
Um, it's out now in hardcover. I have not listened to the audiobook. You know, I think I've said I'm a huge audiobook fan. Haven't listened to the audiobook of that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if the audiobook was magnificent. Um, so yeah, go get Kin. Do
I'm
yourself a favor.
and remember, you can
Beautiful
also
book.
you can
Go get
read
American Marriage. Read another beautiful book.
you can take audiobooks out of your local library. Something
Yeah.
also to remember.
And you
So
can take audiobooks out of all the libraries. If you sign into something called Hoopla with your local library card, it gives you access to library books at almost every major American library. So often, I live in Berkeley where a lot of people read, and I'll go onto my library list and I'm like, oh no, can't
yeah.
find it on Libby. Um, but then Hoopla has libraries all over the country. So I can often find a book that I'm looking for on Hoopla, even if I can't find it on Libby.
I'm gonna just take a brief moment here. I've just looked in my oven, and I'm gonna see if I can get a focus on this here. Wait, hold on.
Oh, my timer's going off.
Yep. I don't know if you can see this because I don't know, because I can't figure out how to make it focus properly. So
Now, is that too wet?
this is too wet. It has too much shine on it. It has some nice sticky bits. So I am thinking to myself, it's going to be ready in the next few minutes. Because the
Okay.
other thing you have to remember is, so it's not ready now. I'll let it try again in about 2-3 minutes. And the other thing is, remember, things keep baking once you take them out of the oven. That is also like the secret of chocolate chip cookies. Take them out a little bit before the way that you like the way they look. You don't want them raw, but they will carry over cooking. The strangest book
They're my little pokey things.
your little pokey things.
Yeah,
Toothpicks.
found one. Boy, my husband's gonna come down. Sorry.
I think you're a trooper for having done this. The only book that I could really think of. Oh, you made the brekkie cookies from The Secret Life. Oh, I
Okay, so
really
what
like
about
those.
that? That's ready, right?
I can't see. Oh yeah, that's ready. That looks ready.
So what do I do when I pull it out?
You've suddenly gotten very short.
What do I do?
take it out, put it on the stove for a little bit, put it on a cooling rack, let it cool. Even as a person who doesn't like chocolate.
It's a little shiny.
On the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. It should be shiny,
Yeah.
but not wet. It's not jiggling, is it?
No, but it has a little bit, not crackly, but it has a little bit of that shine.
That's what we like. We like that. That's why you did all that work.
The heart, which is so
Kind of perfect, actually. I once did research on a book for Joseph Heller. It was his last book called Closing Time. And because I was friends with his son, I knew Joseph Heller. I'd also bought his old apartment, which is another story from another day, at a great price. But anyway, he needed someone to research things for his book for him. And this is when I was a young thing. And in his book, Closing Time, they have a wedding in Port Authority in New York City, which
it sounds like a nightmare.
they had like trapeze art, and in the book they had trapeze artists and whatever. And my job was to go scout Port Authority, which I'd already done because I traveled through Port Authority every single day of my life. I'm going to work and to make sure that all the things that he wanted to make possible for a wedding that would happen in Port Authority could and would. So I feel like I have contributed somewhat to the Catch-22 legacy because that is actually, by scouting out Port, it was worth going to Port Authority. Let's just say that.
All right. Well, I'm going to put this chuppah away.
Put the chuppah away. I'm going to take the brownies out. And I think then we all threw it up. Here, let me give you a look at them before they burn my hands. There's the brownies. You can see a nice crackly top. You can see the hole where I stuck the thing. And we're going to leave them to cool here. And within 10 minutes or so, I suspect a member of my...
to bring these down to my son, tomorrow we're heading down to LA for a week of pre-wedding prep and stuff. Should I leave them in the pan or should I take them out of the pan?
I would, for your sake, I would just leave them in the pan. Loosen the edges, leave them in the pan, and just bring a knife along because that way they won't dry out.
Okay. I don't like being there with me for lots of reasons. Because they destroy cities, because they have houses in the West Bank, in settlements. I really hate Airbnb, but we ended up I couldn't find another place.
Oh, you're saying Airbnb has settlements in the West Bank, so you...
Yeah, they are, like, if you have a house in a settlement,
you can Airbnb it?
Yeah, which is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
But, hey, stay in an illegal settlement.
That'd be fun.
Anyway, but we are staying in an Airbnb because I wanted my whole family to be together and I couldn't find a VRBO. So I will have a knife is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Guys, I have to go.
She has to go
into bed. This was so fun. Thank you for making brownies for Zeke.
Thank you for standing up and working so hard, really. I mean,
I'm just gonna
a mother's love.
I'm gonna let my husband clean this up. I'm gonna beg him to. Here, help me write this text. My darling, Marissa made me make brownies, but I feel so bad. I haven't cleaned up anything. It's totally her fault.
Yep. And she's too much of a bitch to come here and clean it up. Also, she lives in New Jersey.
Do you mind cleaning? I'm so sorry. Are there any men here? Would that make you clean up the kitchen?
I think if I took a look at you and how droopy drawers you are, I would clean up the kitchen for you. You don't seem like you're faking it. It seems pretty...
I'm not myself.
Yes.
I am not myself. All right. You beautiful people.
You're
go
wonderful.
Buy my book so that I can pay for this insanely expensive wedding. It turns out like You could do the cheapest fucking wedding and make all these reasonable price choices, and it still costs a fortune.
That's up. Yep. But many mazzles and mazel tovs to your family. And thank you everyone for joining us today. If you want the recipe, it's on Substack, marissarothkopf.substack.com. And
Yeah, give a
you know,
follow.
give a follow, please. Or share it with somebody you love. If you can't afford to become a subscriber, all we ask is that you share
Yeah,
our
I
things
I
with
haven't
people.
put anything behind a paywall yet, so
Me neither.
you subscribe.
I have 300 recipes behind a paywall. Oh, one quick question, which I wanted to ask in the middle of all your showing the chuppah. People out there, would you have any interest in, say, a getaway that involved Ayelet and me, where we baked, talked about cookies, and like did embroidery and quilting? Does that?
Kind of craft and creativity and cooking
And
getaway.
yeah,
Let us know because I'm sure we could find someplace beautiful to do that and just be in community together and do something fun. Oh, and Vital sends a quilter too. Hey, sister. Um, all right, we're gonna do it.
we're gonna do it. And thank you. And lovely to see you all. And thank
Lovely
you
to
all
see
for
you
being with
all.
us today. Thanks, guys.
And
Mwah.
if you take reclassed, make sure you give yourself a few days to recover.
Oh my God. Yes. See you guys. Bye.